Hey guys, welcome back to my HTML tutorial for beginners series. In this episode, we're going to look at what radio buttons is and how we can create one. Okay, so let's look at the definition of a radio button. Radio button can also be called an option button. Okay, so it's a button that allows user to pick from a list, select only one option. Okay, unlike checkboxes where you can, with a checkbox, user can choose several options. Okay, but with a radio button, users are only allowed to pick from one. Okay, so that is a radio button. Let's go ahead and see how we can create a radio button using HTML. Here is my code editor. I've created a file called radio.html, and this is where I open it up. Okay, so we're going to be entering our code here to create our radio buttons. The best way to learn code is to practice, so I will encourage you to also do the same. Do what I do, that way you get perfect. Okay, you get comfortable coding. So what we need to do here is to create a form, because radio buttons are type of forms. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our form. We first of all declare our form tag in HTML. So you put form and then you close it, and then we open it up like this, more room for our code. And then inside here we need to write a code for our radio button. Okay, so the first one I want you to enter is an input type. Okay, so put input type equal to quotation, and here put radio. Okay, like this there, and then go ahead and then close this button. Now let's go to our web browser and then reload this page, and as you can see, we have a circle here. Okay, user can click on it. So let's go back to our code editor. Good. Now we need to come down to a new line, and then this time we need to enter the visuals. Okay, the text. So if you can guess, we'll be needing a label tag in order to enter our text. Okay, so here we need to put our text, which is HTML, like this. And then let's go back to our web browser and see what is happening. Reload, and as you can see, this is a radio button. You can click like this, but we need several of them so that the user will be able to select from a list. But before we continue, we will need to at least put some heading, something like H3 heading 3. So we'll go back there, and then we can write our heading above our form or inside, it doesn't matter. So let's put H3 there as our heading. And these are types of headings. If you have not watched that episode, go ahead and watch that. Okay, so we need to put our heading something like select your favorite markup language. Okay, or let's say language. Good. Select your favorite language. Now let's go back to our browser, reload, and as you can see, select your favorite language. Now let's continue with our code. Good. So we have created one field. Okay, one radio button. We need a couple of them. So we come down and then we enter our input type, our second input type. So input type like this, equal to, and then quotation, and here you put radio. Okay, so this radio property will create a little circle. Okay, so we'll come here and then close it, come down and enter our label. Okay, because we need a label, so put label, and then we close it. Then inside here we need to put text, which is CSS. Let's come down again and then put our third input. So we put less than input, and then we'll put type there like this, equal to, and here you need to put radio. Okay, this will give us a little circle, and then we'll close it like this, and we'll come down, and then we need to put our last label. Okay, depending on the number of maybe inputs you need. So less than, and then you put label, close it, and then this time we need to put JavaScript there. So Java. Good. So let's go to our web browser and then check our work progress. So I'll simply reload this page, and as you can see, we have a radio button here. But the problem is when you click on one and then you move to the next, the other one still stays there. Okay, this is not a radio button. We don't want that. This will be classified as a checkbox. So in order to solve this problem, we need to go to our code editor, and then inside our input type we need to put name there. Okay, so let's go inside like this, and then we put a name equal to, now here you need to give it a name. So let's be creative and give it a name. So let's just say, you can put any name here. Okay, it doesn't matter. So let me just say test. Good. The same thing we need to do to the next one. We apply that same attribute to the next one. So you put name equal to, and inside this quotation you put test. Okay, the name field here must be what? The same. If not, it will not work. Come here and put name equal to, and quotation, and you put test. Good. Now let's go back to our web browser and reload this page, and after that let's pick one. Now let's go to the next. You can see now the other one disables, and we're now on the next one. You can see that. Good. But there's still a problem, and that is we want our radio buttons to sit on each other. Okay, so we want it to be in a form of a block, okay, and not inline. These buttons are on a straight line. We want them to sit on each other. Okay, so what we need to do is to go back to our code editor and then apply what we call a break. Okay, so here you put break, that's BR. This is a special tag in HTML. Come down and put BR again, and then let's go back to our browser, reload, and as you can see, they are now on a line, a vertical line. This is what we call block. Okay, they are sitting on each other. All right, so there's yet one property I want to talk to you about. So let's go back to our code editor, and then inside here we want to apply some attribute called checked. Okay, so when you put this attribute there, checked, that means by default this particular button will be checked automatically. Okay, so let's reload it. You can see I did not click on anything, and already this is checked. All right, let me reload again. You can see this is checked. You can apply that to any of your buttons. Okay, all right, you can decide to remove it from the HTML and then apply it to the CSS part. Okay, so let's apply it here, checked, like this, and then go to our browser and reload, and by default CSS will be checked, pre-checked. Okay, so that is it. That's how you create a radio button using HTML. I hope this lecture has been informative. I'll see you in my next episode where we're talking about checkboxes. Take care.